You know that feeling, right? That incredibly frustrating feeling where you can understand everything in English, you watch movies, you get the jokes, but the moment it's your turn to speak, your mind just goes completely blank? Well, you are definitely not alone. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why that happens and, more importantly, what you can do about it. If this question feels like it was written just for you, then you're in exactly the right place. This feeling of being stuck or blocked is probably one of the most common hurdles for English learners. But here's the good news. It's totally solvable. We call this the speaking paradox. It's that strange gap between what you know in your head and what you can actually say out loud. And let me be really clear about this right from the start. This is not a sign that you're failing. It's just a normal and thankfully temporary part of the journey. Okay, so let's get into it. Why do you feel so stuck? It's not because you're bad at English, not at all. It's because there's a big imbalance in how you've been practicing your skills. Think about it like this. You've got two different types of skills. On one side, you have your passive skills. That's listening and reading. And let's be honest, that's where most of us spend almost all of our time. But on the other side, you have the active skill, speaking. It's a completely different muscle. And if you don't actually train that muscle, it's just not going to get any stronger. I love this analogy because it just hits the nail on the head. You could read every single book about driving, memorize all the rules, but you will never, ever learn how to drive until you actually get behind the wheel. Speaking English works on the exact same principle. So when you really boil it all down, there are two main culprits. First, it's just a simple lack of practice, not spending enough time actually making sounds and forming sentences. And second, there's this huge psychological barrier, that fear, that terror of making a mistake, which makes us freeze up before we even start. Okay, so we figured out the problem. Now for the fun part, the solutions. Let's go through 5 real, practical things you can start doing, like today, to turn all that understanding you have into confident speaking. All right, first up in our toolkit is a fantastic workout for your brain called the 4-3-2 method. This thing is designed specifically to train your brain to organize its thoughts quickly and just speak, without overthinking and without freezing. So here's how it works. You pick any topic. Let's say my favorite movie. First, you talk about it for 4 minutes straight. Just talk. Then you do it again. Same topic, but you only have 3 minutes. And finally, you summarize the most important points in just 2 minutes. Every round, you're forcing your brain to get faster and more efficient. It's an amazing fluency builder. Okay, next up, we have got to talk about that mental block. So much of our hesitation is just from this internal pressure we put on ourselves to speak perfect English every single time. We have to learn to turn that pressure way, way down. I mean, be honest with yourself. Does this hit home? That fear of saying the wrong thing, using the wrong grammar, it's paralyzing, isn't it? It makes you second guess every single word before it even has a chance to come out of your mouth. So here's the mindset shift. This is maybe the most important thing you'll hear today. Fluency is not perfection. Fluency is about communication. Every mistake you make isn't a failure. It's a rep. It's practice. It's your brain literally building the connections it needs. Mistakes are the training. All right, solution number 3 is all about being strategic. See, instead of trying to build every sentence from scratch with individual vocabulary words, like tiny little Lego bricks, you need to start thinking in bigger chunks, in phrases. Just look at this. Instead of just learning the word cook, you learn the whole ready-to-go phrase, I'm cooking dinner later. This gives your brain these pre-made pieces that you can just grab and use in a conversation, which makes your speech so much smoother. This next technique is a cool 2-parter. The first part is called shadowing. You just listen to a native speaker and repeat exactly what they say. Try to copy their rhythm, their melody, but then, and this is the magic part, you personalize. You take that same sentence structure you just practiced and use it to talk about your own life. It's the perfect bridge from listening to speaking. And that brings us to our last one, and honestly, this is the most important solution of all, because none of the other tricks and techniques matter if you don't actually use them. You have to actively and intentionally create chances to speak English every single day. And look, this doesn't have to be some big, scary thing. You can literally just talk to yourself out loud while you're making coffee. Record a 1-minute voice memo on your phone every day. Grab a friend and agree to speak only in English for just 10 minutes. It's not about how long you do it, it's about doing it consistently. So let's bring this all home. Your path to fluency isn't about learning more grammar rules or memorizing more vocabulary lists. You already understand so much. Your path is about building that bridge from understanding to speaking. And you want to know the best part? It doesn't take hours and hours. We're talking about 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. Just 5 to 10 minutes of focused speaking practice every day is enough to start building that speaking muscle and see real progress. I want you to make this your mantra. Say it to yourself. It is not a question of if you'll speak English fluently, it's just a question of when. You have the knowledge, now you just have to activate it. You can do this, you will do this. So, I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Not tomorrow, not next week, today, right now. Don't wait for that perfect moment to practice because it's never going to come. The moment is now. So what will you talk about for 5 minutes today?